I'm Jackie Wicks with PEERtrainer, and the reason we're making this video today is because we're doing a 5-part series on motivation. We had a comment in our Point of No Return team, and it's just something that we all can relate with. She said specifically, I have all the reasons I need to start making different habits and getting the motivation. My mom had a heart attack. I want to have children. These are real reasons that should be motivating me, but I can intellectualize these reasons, but they're not giving me the emotion I need to sustain my motivation. And because this is such a relatable thing, and because we all go through this, we wanted to make a 5-part series of how to get motivation and how to sustain it. So in this particular article, and the video that we're talking about relates to an audio clip that you can also listen to. We talked about 2 things when it comes to motivation, and many people have both things, but we're characterizing them so that you understand who you might be. We talked about, and Tony Robbins has talked about this, and other people have talked about it, what kind of person are you? Are you motivated towards something, or are you motivated away from something? And towards something can also mean, are you motivated by pleasure? Are you motivated towards attaining something? For me personally, many times I'm motivated towards something. If I know that I'm going to be able to play tennis, I'll do whatever it takes, get a babysitter for the children, make sure food is made, get everything aligned so that I'm going to be able to do that tennis game. Other people are motivated by pain. Pain could be you walk into the doctor's office and they say, you know what, based on your habits, you are a prime candidate for diabetes. That's some pretty big pain, and a lot of people will change their habits based on that doctor's visit. But what we talked about in this audio clip is, how do you manufacture motivation? You don't want to get to the point where you're at that doctor's visit. How do you manufacture it? How do you figure out how to get that motivation to change now? And what we did when we asked you, are you a towards person or are you an away from person, is that can tap into the reasons of why you're going to change now. For example, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. What would be the rewards, and Joshua talks about this more in the audio clip, what would be the rewards if you started to adopt your healthy habits now? What would you get? What would be the rewards? Would it be that pair of jeans? Would it be that you can finally have the energy to get through every single day doing what you want to do? And the other question is, what are the consequences if you don't change your behavior? Are you on a path that you're gaining 10 pounds a month, where it's going to turn into 20, it's going to turn into 30, and this 20 pounds you need to lose is now going to go down to the trajectory that eventually you're going to have 70 pounds to lose? And sometimes that can serve to manufacture motivation. But sometimes, people like me, I don't really want to write things down. Sometimes I want to relate it to a different event. I want to get inspired by something. And the way that I do that, and the way that a lot of CEOs do this in their business setting, is they visualize their motivation. What I talked about in this audio clip is my old boss, when she was just starting out her business and she didn't really have her revenues, yet she used to walk by this brownstone on 64th and Madison every single day. She used to embody this brownstone that she wanted. She'd walk by it, she'd plan and say, oh, I could have my office there, this will be my walk home. And she used to visualize, she had a complete visual, was so clear about what she wanted. And she walked by every day until she had the means to get that brownstone. You can use these skills to relate it to your weight loss goals or your fitness goals. Think about finding that person in the gym that has the exact body that you want, the exact physique. You can go and look at that person. You can ask them. You don't want to appear like a stalker, but a lot of people do this. Sometimes people say, I really like how you look. How did you get there? What kinds of foods are you eating? What kinds of exercise are you doing? And then you get this really clear, what we call in PEERtrainer, the why. What is your compelling reason? What is going to motivate you to have the discipline to do these menial tasks to get the result that you wanted? And sometimes having that visual can give you that compelling why, can make you do those things so that you get the motivation. Because many times when and Tony Robbins has said this, but many other motivational speakers have said this, When you know the why, the how becomes effortless. So that's what we want you to focus on, and that's sort of what we cover in, not sort of what we cover, that's exactly what we cover in this audio clip. We ask you 2 questions. What are the rewards if you change your habits now? And what is the pain? What are the consequences if you don't change the habits now? And we ask you to get a visual, get really clear on what you want. And that really completes sort of part 1 of our motivational series. We'll be talking about how one good habit leads to another in part 2. We briefly talked about that in part 1, but we're going to be going a little bit more in depth in it in part 2. And again, I love your questions. I love your feedback. It helps us shape things. So jmw@peertrainer.com or coaching@peertrainer.com. And please keep the questions coming. We're going to be making more videos so that, Joshua just said such a great thing the other day. He says, instead of having a cup of coffee, we will be your motivation. So please send us the questions. Keep them coming, and we'll see you next time.